Hello guys, hello me lovely people, and I'm back. It's a couple of books. It's been a long 2 weeks of hibernation, procrastination, and just trying to plan some shit out because I found that I didn't plan it properly. I reviewed too many books and I kind of ran out of things to actually review, so I've been playing catch up. But I guess I'm back now, and today I'm going to be reviewing a fiction. And it's actually, one thing actually, because you may have heard of it, but it's Dear Martin by Nic Stone. Great book. Really compelling read. I mean, I read it in maybe a day, just less than a day. So it's quite a large font, 200 pages. And it was a really free-flowing, just flowed off the tongue, digestible read. And that a lot of that owes to the fact that it's in third person, so a lot of it is conversations, just a really conversational style of writing Nic Stone has, what she's exhibited in this book. And just to get straight into it, the book chronicles Justice McAllister, who is the main character. He's 17-year-old. He is an academic. He's in the process of applying to Yale, so an Ivy League college, one of the best in the world. And he's also part of the debate team. And he is a black academic faced with the issues of police brutality and racial profiling. And Nic Stone, she does a great job of sparking the dialogue and the conversation that needs to be had, in that no matter how far you come and no matter how hard you work, you will always be just another black guy in America. And the police will always see you as a threat. And like, there's a quote in this book which sums it up perfectly, is that, why do you write if people will always assume you're doing wrong? You know what I mean? In the book, one of the first things which happens is a case of police brutality, a police who assumed he was doing something he wasn't just because of the colour of his skin. And that situation caused like a domino effect, and that is where the title comes from. It's Dear Martin, paying homage to Martin Luther King, of course. But after experiencing a terrible case of racial profiling, Justice McAllister, he takes to writing to Martin Luther King, treating Martin Luther King as a sort of pen pal, as a way to alleviate stress, the trauma, and the PTSD of having to deal with just numerous cases of just being treated like shit, just simply down to the colour of your skin. You know what I mean? And being in an environment, I guess he's in a really grey area. And it's quite a tricky situation because he's going to this school where I think there may be like 2 or 3% black people amongst the entirely white cohort. So there's 8 black people in the whole year group, and he's got into the school on a scholarship. So if it was in normal circumstances, he could never have afforded to go to the school. So as you can imagine, he's surrounded by some really, upper class, middle class to upper class white people who are completely out of touch with your reality which you face. So he's in a tricky situation because it's like he's trying to get as far from what he calls home and the hood as possible, but he also finds himself in a situation where he's always one wrong turn away from death, to put it simply. He's always one wrong turn away from it, and throughout the book, you see it firsthand. And I guess it's different when you read about it versus seeing it on Twitter. I feel like maybe it's just the way Nic Stone writes, is that it was a lot more palpable. Don't get it twisted. There are many different occasions where I was just gritting my teeth in frustration at some of the situations which Justice was in, especially with a lot of his white counterparts or white classmates who just didn't understand their position and their privilege and the ways in which the huge part they played in perpetuating white privilege. And Justice he found himself in a position of, I'd say, power, because there was either two roads he could have taken. One could have been to be the submissive and quiet, and also just not wanting to step on anybody's toes sort of black person who just allow people with your white classmates to say what they want to say and be ignorant. Or you could be the person who stood up for what he believed in, just like Martin, and set people right when they're on the wrong path, and not be afraid to force those awkward conversations. You know what I mean? You could, and not be afraid to be labelled as the black, aggressive guy with a chip on his shoulder who, you know, like, who's not getting over race and like he just needs to live his life, all that sort of shit. But he persevered, you know what I mean? And just like the book title, he really did treat Martin, and he lived by Martin. And, you know, the only angst I would have in regard to the title, not the book itself, is that Martin Luther King, along with a few others, Rosa Parks, there's these kind of anecdotes of the black civil rights movement in America and the one or two trailblazers who, it kind of negates the fact that there are so many other great black leaders and torch bearers who were on the front lines and fighting for the cause and contributing to the cause just as much as Martin Luther King, if not more. You know, your Assata Shakurs, your Fannie Lou Hamers, your Huey P. Newtons, your Malcolm X's, your... Just, I could go on until tomorrow, if you know what I mean. But that's the only shade I'd have for the book, and it's not personally me coming for Nic Stone. It's just it's the whole premise of it anyway. But you know, I really did enjoy this book, and another thing I really enjoyed was Nic Stone's characterization. So there is one of the other main characters is Sarah Jane. So she is a white girl who's part of the debate team, and she's a really woke character. She's one of those white girls who they know that they are privileged, and they live off of their privilege, but they are also open to the fact to educate themselves and to kind of not be complicit in the violence against black people, and to talk up when something is wrong, and to not be afraid to be in awkward situations, you know what I mean? And I feel that Nic Stone, she used Sarah Jane as that figure to which many white people should aspire to be, and that is educated and not ignorant, and just look at the figures, to just do some research and really see things for what they are, rather than be ignorant and use the common blanketed arguments that a lot of people like to use. A really cool aspect of the book, a book which I really enjoyed, and you know, I would recommend it. I'd recommend it to anybody, especially in times such as this where we find ourselves bombarded with just black bodies being brutalized on social media. It's a completely different stance when you read the book. And, you know, I'm just going to finish on that, you know. I don't want to waffle too much. I say to just read it. This is bought from Pages of Hackney, which is a black-owned bookstore in Hackney. I'll link it down in the subscription. They have a huge catalogue of books. I mean, maybe over 1,000 books. Really competitively priced, quick delivery. Can't really ask for much more, you know what I mean? And with that, guys, I just say go out and enjoy the weather, because next week is going to be really sunny. We're looking at like highs of 23 to 26 degrees from Monday to Friday. Go to the park with a great book, kick your feet up, and I'll be back next week with another review. And until then, don't forget to subscribe and like, because I forgot again. I need to start doing that at the start of the video. But yeah, guys, have a great week, and I'll see you soon.